Where does creativity come from? This sounds like an important question, but the first surprise of this book is that it's not. To prove this, I've listed some possible answers based on the latest neuroscience research into creativity and how our brains work. If you guess the right answer to my question, which I doubt you will, I will give you a special and wonderful prize. So choose wisely. Creativity comes from A. Friendly aliens living underground in the planet Saturn. B. The tasty filling found inside blueberry donuts. C. An invisible gas that is released only when you finish a nice bottle of wine. D. All of the above. E. Some of the above. Of course, these answers are both made up and wrong. But I admit that I hoped C was true, but after many experiments, I have to admit I was never able to stay awake long enough to see the gas, if it does exist. But I promise I will keep trying, as with the pursuit of all interesting ideas, persistence is required. Meanwhile, the only possible correct answer to my question is F, your mind. This seems obvious, yet when people decide they want to be more creative, they are willing to look just about anywhere except inside themselves. I know from years of study that most of what you need you already have, despite the books, seminars, and coaches that claim otherwise. I admit this is a curious way to begin a book about creativity, but I have to start here. My central premise is we must first undo the damage of popular misconceptions about ideas and how they work, and in that undoing, progress will naturally ensue. The best place to start is to recognize that creativity, as a subject of study, is a modern invention. 10,000 years ago, people were too busy solving real problems in their lives to worry much about how to label those solutions or what to call the people who made them. They also made art and music for their own pleasure and didn't worry much about what to call that either. They went and did it because they wanted to. Even the masters of the Renaissance, like Raphael and Donatello, and of the Enlightenment, like Locke and Descartes, didn't talk much about brainstorming exercises or ideation methods. This should make us suspicious about the modern obsession with studying creativity as a thing unto itself. We can learn 3 simple rules from our ancestors in this regard. 1. If there's something you want to do, you must simply go and do it. 2. If you want to be better at something, do it more often. 3. If you want to improve faster, ask someone who knows more than you to watch you and give you their advice. Perhaps this seems blindingly obvious, but you are overlooking the fact that right now, as you listen to this, you are breaking all of these rules. Currently, you are merely listening. Now, listening is a wonderful way to learn, but it's still a kind of consumption, as while you are listening, you are not creating anything. You won't really be working on your creative skills until you stop listening and go make something. With today's abundance of knowledge from websites and books, we often forget that knowing something is not the same as doing something. The word create is a verb. It's an action. Creativity is best thought of in the same way. It's something you can use while involved in an activity, like painting, writing, debating, or dancing. If someone tells me they want to be more creative, I will immediately ask, creative in doing what? Which often gives them pause. Even if they're clever and say, I want to be more creative at thinking itself, I will still direct them to a craft, perhaps writing or filmmaking, as they need a medium in order to develop the skills of improving how they think, creatively or otherwise. Even more insidious than forgotten lessons from our ancestors is how we burden ourselves with the strange obsession for labeling things. Is this cool? Is this creative? Is this innovative? Instead of simply putting effort into the skill of making good things, or merely enjoying ourselves regardless of the quality of the outcome. The word creative is often used to mean novel, a new idea or way of doing something. But in this very limited use of the word, there is a big problem. A person ignorant of Western culture who has never seen a chocolate chip cookie will think it is very creative, while all of us in the West will know this is a very old and traditional, yet very tasty, thing. Creativity as novelty is therefore always relative. What one person finds novel might be old news to someone else. This means worrying about what one person calls creative is often a wild goose chase in discerning their taste, preferences, and experiences. It's far wiser to think about the effect you want an idea to have. If the goal is to make someone laugh, fix their car, or increase the revenue of the widgets their company makes, that matters far more than how creative an idea is or not. An idea can be very creative, interesting, and inspiring, and yet not solve a single problem for anyone.